Welcome to Transformation with Martine. Conquer everything and compromise nothing. This show brings you real, raw, and vulnerable conversations. If you have never liked small talk and have been on a personal growth journey for a long time, stay tuned as Martine and her guests share empowering stories. Now is the time to own your past and look toward your future with hope. Believe in your dreams, and all that you want to achieve is possible. Transformation Coach Martine helps you accept and love you for you. It's time to listen to your heart and tap into your unlimited potential. You have the answers you need inside. Sometimes you just need the right guide to help allow transformation to happen. Transformation with Martine starts now.
Welcome to everyone to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. For those of you that don't know or are not familiar with my show, we are live every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and my show is about overcoming and the resiliency of the human spirit. The guests that I invite on my show are all overcomers like me, and we have stories to tell and hope to spread around. And happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My guest today is a new friend. We just met in Atlanta in June and hit it off, and we've been having great conversations since. And she's got a story of hope and resilience. And welcome, Afya Evans.
Hello. Welcome to everyone. Thank you so much, Martine, for having me on this amazing show. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we are happy to have you share your wisdom and knowledge and, all that good stuff. And that's what we're here for everyone to, to be left with a spirit of hope. And, I wrote a post today. There's been a lot of tumultuous stuff in my life recently. And it's a season, we go through these things, and like at least quite a few of my top mentors have said is that, we need disruption in order to grow. And this happens in our lives, and it is not fun going through it at all. But we learn, and we learn how resilient we are, how strong we are, and just how, I don't know, to me, it's pretty brave to go through some of the things that we do. And it takes courage to get back up, because sometimes it's really hard. So, why don't we start the show today just talking about you and what I know you've got a lot of stories, but the story that we talked about for today, what brought you into this world of helping other women like you do now? And, how did your journey start?
Well, thank you so much again for having me on here. My story began, like so many others, toward on this journey of entrepreneurship and helping other women, with a medical scare, right? So many of us, we get bad report and we just, we lose it and we say, this is the end of the world. And I had one of those days. I felt like I was on top of the world. I thought I was working at the time. I was doing plus size modeling, but I was morbidly obese, right? Like at 5'4", I was, I think, 275 pounds or so. And so for me, that is morbid obesity. But, I was essentially eating myself to death, and I didn't care, or I didn't know, and I didn't worry about it until I had the scare. The doctor gave me a bad medical report and said, if you don't change your life, you're going to die. And I mean, after I pulled myself up off of the ground, because that was bad news I did not want to hear. When doctor tells you that you have a condition that will not ever go away, and if you don't take measures, you will die. I had to recover from that. But once I recovered from that and I decided what I was going to do with the rest of my life, the life that I had, once I started doing that, I realized there were so many women around me who were having either the same issue or a different issue, but still struggling with the same issues of poor self-perception, not having a great self-esteem, not loving on themselves, caring for themselves. And so that's when I went down the journey to say, I want to do something about it and I want to help. So that was how I got started.
It's interesting. And I love you, and I mean this with all goodness. Are you the type of woman like me who sometimes needs a bricks dropped on your head in order to pay attention?
For sure. And my mother would raise both her hands and her feet and tell you that that is exactly right. Like sometimes just, I don't want to say stubborn necessarily, but willful. And especially when I was always someone who knew. So I was always smart. I always had the answers. Like, and so when you feel, when you're like that, it's hard for you to say, well, okay, maybe I don't have the answers here. So, yes, I'm definitely one of those, but I wear it. I try to wear it well. So
yes, you do. And and I think as we get older too, it's kind of something to be proud of in some ways, because we want to take care of things on our own, ourselves. Right. When I was diagnosed with cancer, it was one of those things where I knew something was coming. I didn't quite think that. And the reason I didn't think it was cancer for me is because both my siblings had cancer, and it had never been in our family before then. And I'm thinking, okay, out of the three kids that my parents had together, all three would end up with cancer, but it's never been in our families. That's weird. So that's probably not it. And when I went in, for a procedure and everything, and the doctor's like, you're too young for this, it's not going to be cancer. No, it's going to be IBS or something like that. Oh, stage 3 colon cancer. And I remember when he told me, and I just tuned out, I tuned out, like, my kids are young. I just got remarried a year ago. My mom just died. Really? Nah. And no, I'm not even going to pay attention to this. And then the next day, it was like, you just get your butt up. And I got on the treadmill. I started a blog called Thoughts from the Treadmill. And that's how my entrepreneurial journey started. It took something like this, the bricks on my head, to say, you know what, paralegal's a good career. It was profitable. It was all that, but it wasn't what I was meant to do. It's not what my soul was telling me to do. So in that, for you, when you decide, all right, I'm going to do this, like, what was your soul just like calling you to do? And this just said, all right, Afya, let's go.
Well, first of all, thank goodness that you did do that, because then we would not have transformations with Martine. We would know you. Of course, no one wants that kind of diagnosis. But I'm so glad that you're here to talk about it and to share with us. So for me, so my name actually is Afya. It means health.
Yes.
It means health in Swahili. It means health in Arabic as well. And, I've always known that. As a kid, it was, I was the butt of jokes because nobody could pronounce it. So I let people call me nicknames and didn't worry about it. But as an adult, I grew to love it and, just to love it. But then when this happened, it was like, okay, now it is time for you to step into and be the embodiment of health.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm still on that journey. Okay. But that was where I had to start learning how to eat, learning what to eat, learning how to take care of myself, my skin, my insides, right? I had all the outside going on. Great. Right. But the inside, I had to start working that. So health, and knowing that I needed to be healthy physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all psychologically. I went about the business of doing it, and then also sharing what I know with other women on the same journey.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Would you say that, like, for me in my journey, it's not been an easy road, but I've had so many blessings along the way. I always saw God in it. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, during that time, like I said, after I picked myself off the ground, that was a minute. That was a minute when I was on the ground, a puddle of tears.
Yep.
Didn't want to do anything, don't want to eat, don't want to go anywhere, don't talk to me. And it was in that moment that God reached down and said, okay, daughter, I get it. I know you're upset. Let's walk through how we got here, right? Because it just didn't fall out of the sky for you. Like, how did you get here? And where are we going from now? I'm with you all the way.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I was able to, then I was able to pick myself up and move forward.
Right. So take us from that point on. Okay, God's got me. I have a job to do. What happened?
So, I kind of had to say, okay, well, what do I want to do? I was still working in my job. I worked as an analyst. I was an intelligence analyst for many, many years. And so I had this high powered job that was very stressful, but I still wanted to do this thing on the side that was just itching at me. And so I decided I want to be a health strategist. I had no clue what that was. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to help women to be more healthy. And I had tools now that I understood, that I found out during my time with the doctor and the surgeons and all the people I had to work with. I was like, why did no one tell us how to eat and do all these things before? I could have avoided it. So I wanted to take all the things that I was learning, package it in a way that women could take it and use it and work in their own lives. And so that was the beginning of my business. I started out as a health coach, a health strategist, and then I found that people were coming to me more so for other things for help. And I said, oh, okay, so maybe I need to pivot. So there was a pivot. I know we might talk about this later, but there was a pivot after that got me to where I am as an image consultant and a media coach today.
Okay. So your own journey, so like you get the diagnosis, you get back up, like, all right, I got me, God's got me. What was your next step for you? You started learning about health, and decided that you want to do health. Maybe not exactly sure what, like you said, the health strategist was, but what did you do for you?
For me, I mean, it really, literally, I learned that I did not know how to eat. I didn't know how to eat. Essentially, it was stomach growling, food, get food, put it in your mouth, how much ever of it that you can get before your stomach says, I'm full. And that was it. I had to learn how to eat. Why do I eat? What does my body need? How much of it does my body need? And I learned you don't need to drink and eat at the same time. What? Right? Like, no, when have we ever not eat and drink at the same time? But for me at that place, you didn't have to. Eat, drink first, then eat. I learned portion size. I can count calories like a ninja. Right? And for some people they hate it, but for me it's fun because it's like, oh, great. So I learned how to eat, what to eat, and how to take better care of myself. So self-care became, I'm a spa girl.
Yeah.
I love the spa. I will go to the spa every day if I could. And that's not an exaggeration. If I could go to the spa every day, I would. So, it was taking care of myself is how I really, really got on the journey. And then it just morphed into other things.
Awesome. Okay. We're going to take a short break, but then we'll just come back and share a little bit more about Afya's journey and wherever the conversation leads. Open, raw, vulnerable conversation. That's what this place is about. See y'all in a few minutes.
Love it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. My guest today is Afya Evans, and we're talking about her health journey and how sometimes you're given a diagnosis you sure as heck don't want, but it sets you on the path of discovery of what you need, of, well, really your purpose. I mean, at least for me and for her, it's like these things come in and it just changes the trajectory of your life. We already had careers, but then something comes in and like, oh, okay, time to pivot. It's time to do something different. So we left off when you were talking about learning about food, learning how to properly fuel your body, and just learning overall, like self-care, of taking care of yourself, whether it's massage. And on the break, you mentioned that you even studied massage. In learning about yourself, this led you on a trajectory of helping other women. So tell us more about that. I've got to plug in. Technology.
So as you said, I actually, once I understood I was going to go on this health journey, I actually decided that I wanted to learn more about massage therapy and spa. And so I went to massage therapy school and became a certified massage therapist in addition to
awesome.
other full-time job. What I discovered through that, though, is that I had a gift of healing in my hands, which I think I kind of knew that, which is what led me to that. But I had like a gift of healing, and all of my clients, all the people that I would work on would just say, "Oh my gosh, this is why I feel so safe. I feel so cared for. I feel so loved when you do this." And so I knew that that was going to, care. And as you say, caring for the body was going to be part of what I was doing. At the same time, I've always been someone who's very creative, artistic, as well as analytic. So I kind of have this right brain, left brain thing going on. But I've been both of those things. And people would come to me and say, Afya, what do you think about, this? What should I put on? What should I wear? How should I organize this or that or whatever? And I would always be able to see a picture of it very quickly, put it together and help them. Oh my God, thank you so much. And had been doing that for years. And it hadn't occurred to me that I was actually styling people. That's what I was doing. And it hadn't occurred to me. And the people were consistently coming to me, and you would think it would be full-figured women who I was working with on the health journey, but it wasn't. It was more not full-figured women who said, we love your style, we love your energy, we love what you're about. Can you help me? Like, wow, well, yeah, actually I can. And I began doing that more and more. And I realized that was more of the space, kind of the total woman, not just your insides, but your outsides too. And to be clear, your insides have a lot to do with what your outside, your skin will tell us everything you need to know about what's going on the inside. And so that got me into the styling, the wardrobe styling and image consulting space. And I helped so many beautiful women, entrepreneurs, speakers, people who were doing photo shoots and I just loved it. And I knew, okay, this is closer to the space where I need to be. Not there yet, but still closer. And so it's been taking me on this journey. But even then, that was still more kind of a zone of excellence for me. I'm good at it. I can do it. I love helping women, but it's not the thing yet. Not the thing. And so I continued on my journey to help people. And what I discovered is I wasn't bringing in all of those skills, that right brain part of me, right? All that analytical part. I wasn't using it. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to start to use it. And that's when I decided to pivot to help specifically, not just women, but mostly women who are public facing, front facing, maybe a public official, maybe they're running for office, maybe they're in the media, maybe they have a business and they do speaking engagements every week, or they're a high-level executive and they're always in commercials or some type of video. To bring out their best selves from the inside out so that they can command every space that they are in, feel fabulous about themselves, and really honestly just win, just kill it. So, and now that feels better about it because it's the totality of me coming together to help the people, the women that I want to help. But it's a journey. And a lot of times they come to me and they'll say, okay, I need an outfit. And I'll like, okay, well, but hold on. And, they will tell you we need to do an evaluation of you. Who are you? What are you about? What is inherently a gift, a talent, a physical feature and beauty that we leverage to create this experience that you want your customers, your clients, or your people to have. And it comes from the inside. And if you don't know yourself, and I learned this the hard way, if you don't know yourself, then you cannot create this experience, this output to its fullest on the other end. I had to do a lot of mindset work to get to a place where I understood, who am I?
Right.
Talk about image. It's like project out. Right. Who am I? If you don't know what if you don't know what it is on the inside, it's not going to project that. It's like a camera, taking a picture of a camera with the lens cap on.
Right.
You're going to get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So I had to do a lot of work, a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, a lot of coaching.
Yep.
Tons and tons of mindset coaching, just to clear out a bunch of junk that was there from before, which is why I got to 275 pounds to begin with.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
And for some people, the 275, you might be like, that doesn't sound like a lot. For me and my frame, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much. My blood pressure was through the roof. It wasn't care. I couldn't, if I can share, if I can be transparent here.
Be transparent.
The day that I was going on a date, because let me tell you, even at that weight, as big as I was, I could still get a date. Okay.
Oh, you're beautiful.
You can tell me that I wasn't cute. Couldn't tell me, I can still get a date. So I was, well, thank you so much.
You are, seriously.
So I was going on a date, and the gentleman, it was, he was coming soon, and I was getting ready, and I was trying to put on my shoes, these high heel shoes that I had.
Yeah.
I could not get those shoes on because I couldn't buckle them, because I couldn't lean over, and my arms couldn't reach far enough to get the buckle, to get it on. And I was sweating. I was crying because I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. I couldn't even put on my own shoes. And even that still didn't get me to the place where I had to have the bad diagnosis to get me there. But it was at that point where I started to say to myself, something's wrong here. This is not okay. This is not right. And so you have to know within yourself that something needs to change. Something needs to shift. Something needs to be, the broken pieces need to be cleared away and or put back together, right? Like, so you have to know yourself. And mindset is so important to doing that. And I set about doing it, and now it is a part of the programs and the products that I share with my clients.
Yeah, that's really just makes you think, like, I don't know what was in your head and heart, but I know, like, having an eating disorder for almost my entire life, inside it's like, for me, it was just not like, I had this, I've never been really overweight, but enough that, it was like a protection for me. Like, no one can hurt me if I'm not this perfect, no one can hurt me. So maybe it was probably a little different for me than you, but I just remember having that layer and not feeling worthy and secure enough to be fit, because and then maybe someone will hurt me if I am really fit. It's just the things that we do to protect ourselves, and it could be the opposite. Maybe I don't know. Did you feel more secure at that time being a little bigger, or like, where was your?
That's interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that, Martine. Because I think that's a perspective we don't think about a lot, that people allow themselves to do that on purpose in some way, consciously, right? We think, oh, you got like that because you're lazy, or because you just don't want to work out, or whatever the case may be. But so many reasons why. I don't know that I felt that it was a protection for me, unless we count kind of. So I, after my first year of college, I went to Purdue my first year, didn't do very great. I had to come home because that was my first time being away from home. So I probably did all the things I wasn't supposed to do. But I lost all my scholarships. So I went to the military, and I'm so thankful for the military, U.S. military, the Army, as a linguist, and I got the GI Bill. And in that space, I was forced to work out. Like, you have to work out. Even though the food you ate wasn't great, you still had to figure out how to stay in shape. And I hated that experience. So I think for me, when I got out, in order to protect my independence and my ability to make my own choices about how I wanted to eat, I told myself, I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat.
Yeah.
If I
That's
don't feel like
interesting.
working out, I won't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how I got to this space.
Yeah. That independence, wanting to take care, like, hey, nobody else is telling me what to do again.
That's
Like,
right. Like you said earlier. Yeah. That's it. I had to hit you over the head with a brick. But
yeah.
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. It is just amazing what we create for whatever way that it is, whether it's independence or safety. My story. Yeah, that's very interesting. So we need to take a break, but where can everybody find you before we do?
Okay, well, they can go to afyaevans.com, http dot or
Yes.
slash afyaevans.com. Or they can find me, just look up Afya Evans on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And I am there. I am an image consultant. So there, if you see multiple things, I'm the Afya Evans who is an image consultant.
Oh, bad. And your name is not exactly popular. Right?
Well, it means health in other languages. So if you look it up, you'll get all kinds of stuff in
Oh my gosh.
Africa and
Yeah, I guess that's true because my name is actually becoming a little more popular these days too.
Okay.
Or at least I'm hearing it more. Interesting. Okay, we'll be back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing, the place of real, raw, vulnerable, fun conversations. My guest today is Afya Evans, and we're talking about health, the journey of health, finding ourselves in sometimes a crisis, which could be, a health challenge, and kind of just finding ourselves and maneuvering our way through life as we're getting older. Changes in life are happening, and so Afya, you've been on a journey now for a while of taking care of yourself and getting in shape and now helping other women just to feel good about themselves and not just in looks, but I mean, because we can dress ourselves up as pretty and as flowery or sparkly or whatever we want, but we have to work on ourselves inside. So tell us more about what you have done for your whole mindset, how you help others with mindset, and then let's talk about how I mean, none of us are getting younger, and I feel like this is, I think, one of the best times in our lives, really. It's about us now. Yes, some of us have children, some of us, I mean, are taking care of aging parents. There are so many different things going on, but it's about us too.
It is. Yeah, thank you for that. Listen, you're absolutely right. None of us are getting any younger. But it's so important I didn't realize when I was younger how important having a positive self-image and understanding who you are was. To me, it was kind of like, okay, I feel like I know who I am, so let me do. And now I'm in a season where I'm learning and understanding, and I'm teaching people, less do, more be.
Oh,
right? So that, yes, less do, more be. Be the thing that you think. And then everything that you do, whatever it is, going to get something to eat or talking to a friend next door or whatever, will exude that thing. So, and you're absolutely right. I tell my clients this all the time, Martine. I can put the best outfit on you. I mean, the most high quality, best brand outfit. It's coordinated, all the right colors, everything. And you can give the best presentation in the world wearing that best outfit. But if you on the inside are not confident in who you are, that will convey to the people that you're talking to. And people don't believe me, but it is absolutely the truth. And so I try to teach and speak with the women and the clients that I have that let's talk about first, who are you? What are you trying to convey? And what do you want the people on the other end, whether friend, whether client, whether whatever, to receive? And then you have to bring that from the inside out. And so for some folks, it's a struggle because they haven't really thought about it like I was earlier in my life. They hadn't really thought about it. And so we have to get to the crux of that first. And so we do mindset work, we do exercises. I actually do analysis of the whole person. So your body type, your personality, your color contrast and color structure. What does your calendar look like? What's your business about? Like, we do all of that. So then we can say, okay, if this is who you are and this is what you want to do, here's what you'll need. And sometimes the customers are like, yes, this is great. I love it. And sometimes they're like, oh my God, this is going to be so much work, right? Because they never thought about it. Now they realize I don't really know who I am or really what I'm doing, right? But what I love to tell them though is when you do this work of discovering you and applying it to everything that you do, your image, your presentation, how you show up in any given space, even in relationships, you will be so glad that you have done this work, because now you have the authentic Martine or Afya or whoever, right? And it's so much more juicy and just beautiful when we have that. Anything, even a sales call or pitch is more enjoyable because you're bringing your A game and your whole self to it. It's interesting. We were talking to the break about, aging, right? And kind of the journey of getting older. And, how has this impacted me in the work that I do? Well, first of all, it's easy for me to tell other people to be confident, right? Because oh, you just need to be more confident. You need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, here's your colors, here's this, here's that. But I have to start with me. It's an embodiment of self-confidence, comes from the inside out. And so as I'm getting older, as I'm aging gracefully, I think. I have it hasn't been a smooth process. It's been kind of bumpy, right? Like, what's going on with my body here? I'm not understanding, right? I'm supposed to be, I had a career literally in intelligence, right? And then all of a sudden I found my body going through changes. I'm having brain fog. And it's like, ma'am, if you can't think, not what do we need you? We don't need you anymore. But literally, it was hampering the work that I was doing. And I had to process that. Because then it was like, well, what do I do if I'm not this, kind of badass intel person on the side? What do I do? Right? I had to discover again, wait a minute, you're not, that's not who you are. That's just what you were doing. Who you are so many other different things. And so I had to encourage myself. I have to look at my own beauty. I have to think about what are the giftings and the talents that God has given me. Besides that, if I can't do that starting tomorrow and I can never do that again, does that mean that I have no value? Like, no. So you have to get to a place where you understand self, you understand the value that you have, the inherent value, the inherent beauty that you were given. And then take that and then decide, okay, what am I going to do with that? And for me, it was to start my own business and to help other people to show up as their absolute best. But it has not been easy. I was telling you, I've had some comments, once you hit 50, it's kind of like the world sees you, I think, differently. And so I had to make a commitment to self to say, I don't care if the world sees me old, I'm not going to be old, because how you, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? And that the book that I wrote years ago is called Does This Mindset Make Me Look Fat? Does it? And the short answer is yeah. If you think you're fat, if you think you're old, if you think that you're ugly, if you think you have no value, that's what's going to convey. And that's how people will treat you. And
that creates form.
It does. And so I had to decide for myself, just as Afya person, like not even image consultant, but just me, how was I going to approach this next season of my life? And I said, I'm going to approach it with fabulosity. I'm going to approach it with celebration. And it's a daily thing for me, because then once I do that, then I'm able to authentically speak to clients and customers, right? Because like I said, it's one thing to tell them, oh, just just be confident in yourself. And, it's more than that. You have to tell yourself, because if you go outside of your house or turn on the TV, there are myriad messages to you that if you don't look like this, if you're not this tall, if you're not this skin complexion, if you don't have this much money in the bank, if you don't do this as a career, then you don't have much value. You have to value yourself and understand for yourself what the value is, and then apply that to your
You do. 100%. 100%, and like, yeah, it does seem to be the age is 50. It seems to be that, it's just like, well, like you don't matter as much as you used to, or people that are younger or whatever it is. And I think we have to, I think a good majority of us, especially in the communities that we are in, women support each other, and we help each other. We lift each other up, because we have wisdom. We have wisdom to share with younger people. We are not of any less value because we are not this age anymore. We're actually, hey, we're of more value. We've learned a lot. We have something to offer. And, you mentioned the brain fog. That is real.
It's a real thing.
That is real. Yes. A special plug to my Dr. Nishath Hakim. She is fabulous with Prosperity Health, and she helps women with those types of things. She says people were coming in that had these women with high-powered jobs. They were afraid they're going to get fired because of the brain fog and not being able to think clearly sometimes. And that's a real thing. So there is help out there, everyone, for that. But it's also, like you were saying, it's like you can dress up all pretty and all that, but you've got to have that faith and believe in yourself that you are worthy, that you've got something to offer people. And whether you have a faith in God or something else, it's like, for me, I think sometimes God can just shine that light through you and make you look as young as you feel.
That's right. That's so right.
Yeah.
Joie de vivre, the joy of life. Yes, absolutely. And it's so unfortunate that as a society, we have gotten to this place where, we deem, 50 plus women as kind of not having value. Like, how that's so unfortunate, because it's like having a gold mine in your backyard, right, and not using it or not taking advantage of it. Right. There's so much, like I said, not just wisdom, because, I don't know that I just want to be the wise sage in my older years. I want to be fabulous. I want to be saucy and spicy and happy and energetic too, right? So there's so much that we bring, and I just think it's unfortunate that as a society we haven't gotten there where we can celebrate womanhood after 50 like it should be celebrated.
Absolutely. And I know we need to take a break, but I want to say this quickly. There was a woman that was at my former church. We lived in a different area, and she was just like, she dressed fabulous every single Sunday, every single day. And she was in her 70s at the time. She has passed away. And I thought, you know what? I met her, how old was I? I don't know, probably 38 to 40, somewhere in there. And I met her, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be like that. My mom started
goals.
My mom started dressing in kind of like stretchy pants, and the like t-shirts have like a flower here or something. Nothing wrong with that, but it kind of screams old lady to me. Where she dressed like a young, not young, but nice, just tailored and pretty clothes, and kept her hair very nice. Always dyed it. Was not going to go gray. Nope. 70s, and she had hair as dark as yours. As mine, we're about the same. And she rocked it. She rocked it every single day, and she was an inspiration to people every day of her life. So we have to take a break. I apologize. We'll be right back, everyone, with our final thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine. We've been having a great conversation today about our health, our image, how we project ourselves, our purposes, our passion. And as we get older, just oh, just society, when you hit 50, sometimes it's like, well, geez, you're just on the downside here, and that's not something that it's interesting because, like, I remember my dad saying he's 87 now and he does not feel like he is. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I can relate to now. I don't feel in my 50s at all. I don't. I still feel like, yeah, late 30s, maybe early 40s, whatever, but I don't, my body doesn't feel it at all. And one of my colleagues told me a while ago, and she's a good 10 years younger than me. Yeah. And she says, I don't think the body knows how old it is until you get like a good injury, say like you hurt your hip or you break something as you're getting a little older. Your body doesn't even know it, especially if you do take reasonably good care of yourself. So yeah, we are valuable no matter what age. And I believe that the young has a lot to offer us at our age, and we have a lot to offer to them. And yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. And just even like just speaking about women alone, us supporting each other, no matter what age you are, yeah.
Yeah, we need that. I said, we need that. I was also going to say, I think in terms of like feeling 50, part of me is kind of like, did I even know what 50 was supposed to feel like? Yeah. Right. Like, I think people that I thought were 50 were not 50. They were like 60, 70, and I didn't really understand what 50 was going to look like because I really didn't know who was 50. Yeah. Now that, I've passed 50, it's kind of like, oh, this is 50 now. Yeah. Like, it doesn't seem familiar because I was like, did I even remember anybody when they were 50? So,
yeah, that's super interesting. I remember, my worst year was 39. I remember turning 39 and talking to my mom and like, oh, this is horrible. This is my last year in my 30s. Oh my God. Oh. And then when I hit 40, no big deal. And then I remember telling my husband now that when I hit 50, I'm going to be on the floor. So just be prepared for it. I'll be crying. I'll be doing whatever. And it was like, oh, it's not so bad.
That's not so bad. Yeah.
Actually kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. 40 was actually great for me. I mean, at 40, I was like, I am hitting my stride. I am grown. You can't tell me anything. Like 40 was great. I think 30 for me, maybe I was like a little bit apprehensive because I still wasn't grounded in where I thought I was going to go as a professional and stuff yet. So 30 was, and I didn't have a family yet. I wasn't married. So for me, 30 was I was a little concerned. But 40, I was like, I'm great. I'm good.
Yeah.
50 has been a challenge. 50 has been a challenge. But I'm feeling now that once I really get it past the parts that are challenging, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So, work in progress. It's a work in progress, but
we are a work in progress.
That's right. But listen, it's so cliche, 50 and fabulous. But
but hey, let's own it.
Right?
We can own it. I'm choosing to,
I love it.
At this point. Yeah. And it's like, because if you look at your life right now, you're doing pretty darn good. And I feel like that too. Like I haven't had all the business success I wanted, but I do pretty good. And, every year it gets better.
That's right.
Yeah. But speaking of all that, where can they find you again? Because
yes, at afyaevans.com, that's my website, or on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, Afya Evans. If you search for Afya Evans, I'll come up. I think on LinkedIn, there's 2 accounts. There's like one from my life before when I was an analyst, and one that is my what I'm doing now as an image consultant and media coach. So I'm on all those platforms. Please reach out. I'd love to speak with you and talk to you. I'm always looking to work with individuals who want to up their game in their image and just themselves and being their best self ever.
Absolutely. And what's great is what we've talked about before. It's like, yes, you can give somebody a color analysis and all that, but you work on the rest too.
Absolutely.
You work on the mindset. You work on everything. It's a full package what you offer.
That's right. It's holistic.
Yeah.
Like you can't do, I shouldn't say you can't do one without the other, but it's going to be lacking in one area or the other if you work on your wardrobe, but not on your speaking skills, communication skills, or you work on your communication skills, but your clothes don't fit well, or your clothes fit well and you can speak well, but your hygiene is bad, skin is not good. So it's holistic, and to start with, you need to just know yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we have about a minute left. What would you tell somebody who maybe she's in a place like we are sometimes, like, oh God, okay, well, we're 50. So what next? What would you tell somebody just kind of wanting to make a change and kind of up in the game?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Kind of what next? I think the beauty of it is what next can be and should be whatever you want it to be. Ask yourself, what do I really want to do? Don't put any qualifiers on it. Well, I can't do that, but can't do that because can't do that, blah, blah. If you could do whatever you want to do, which you can, what is that?
Yeah.
Find out what it is. Be honest with yourself and then go for that. If you just want to sit at home, I don't want to do anything, I want to be taken care of for the rest of my life, be honest with yourself about that. And then make it happen. If you want to start a business, do that. If you want to lose 50 pounds, do it. What is it that you want to do? I want freedom. I want peace. I want whatever. At 50, you are entitled to it, and you
no doubt
have it.
Yes.
That's what
absolutely.
I would find out what it is that you really want and pursue it.
Because you can do it. There's absolutely nothing that we can't do if we just we set our intentions and do it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, my friend. It's been totally awesome.
This was awesome.
I
love it talking to you. You're such a ray of sunshine.
So are you.
When I met you, it was just, I knew that there was a connection and that I wanted to.
Oh yeah.
So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. And it's an honor to spend time with you. And I'm so grateful for Atlanta and meeting you and just connecting with more people in our tribe of women. And it's been great. I look forward to future endeavors together. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And remember, every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and stay tuned for the fabulous Dr. Esther Graham. And she's got a great interview today right after me. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Transformation with Martine, real, raw, and vulnerable conversations. Listen or watch live every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com as Martine and her guests have deep, meaningful conversations, sharing empowering stories. Step into your passions and lead with your heart. If you are ready to accept and love you for you, visit martineemmons.com and start allowing transformation to happen today.